But those who donated more are Christians. On that day, they realized so much money. Instead of them now name that school Ansarudin Grammar School, it was named Odeumu High School because they tolerated each other to the level that they can change things because other people should be happy. What is tolerance?
Well, once again, you are welcome. Tolerance, if we are looking at it from the definition, tolerance is the willingness to tolerate the existence of people's opinion and behavior that we may ordinarily disagree or dislike. When someone portrays a behavior or an attitude that you don't ordinarily like, but your ability to accommodate him for who he is and for what he is and what he stands for is tolerance. And by so doing, it shows that you will be able to live with him irrespective of whether it's religion, his tribe, his color, his beauty, his gender, and so on and so forth. So tolerance is very important, is an important instrument that if every human applies it, the world itself will be a better place to be.
Yes, when we say tolerance is the ability to accommodate the opinion and the differences that comes from the opposite of one's self. That is from another person who is different from you. When we say tolerance, as I said, is the ability to accept, understand with the person who is of opposite side. When I say opposite side, like the way Archbishop put it, from opposite gender, it could be gender. Person from the opposite religion, the religion that is not yours. If he practices another religion, the ability to accommodate him, understand with him that is the tenet of his own religion. The opposite could be somebody who lives next to you, your neighbor. How do you accommodate him? How do you tolerate and live peacefully, harmoniously with him? Not minding the differences that exist between you. For peace to reign, for harmony to reign, for everything to move on. Because we can't do without each other. And if we are to go by hammering on differences, definitely no meaningful development will ever take place.
Tolerance and understanding, are they the same thing? Are they complement? Are they supplements to each other?
They are complementary. Because when you understand, even the Bible says a woman, the men should live with their wife with understanding. So it means what the scripture is simply saying is that
the man should love his wife, while the wife should understand his man.
No, the man should understand his wife, while the woman should love his husband. You need to understand your wife, because sometimes women can be very funny. And so if you want to treat a woman the way like a man, then you will land into trouble. The Bible says they are weaker vessels. So I'm trying to say understanding. Understanding is what actually complements tolerance.
Okay.
You may not like it. Oh, you may not like the habit of that person. You may not like his style. You may not even like his look. But you have to love him for who he is. So the love you are applying to that person is understanding that you are not his creator. You didn't make him or her what she is or who he is. It is just that is what God has made him to be. And when we also apply tolerance in the secular world, politics, and so on and so forth, you will see I think it is an ingredient that politicians also need,
Yeah.
mostly in this country.
Yes.
Tolerating, understanding that, well, if somebody is in party A or is in party B, does not mean that he's your enemy.
No.
So we may have different ideologies, we may have different manifestos. You see, like what we do today in Nigeria, that we begin to a sort of propaganda, trying to bring down our opponents using all sort of unimaginable things to disqualify, to play him down, to demarket. That is not the way to play politics. So that is not the way to even live. If you want to live right with people, appreciate who he is. I can say, for instance, I know I am more handsome than Imam, but that does not reduce the fact that Imam is also, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So that is your choice. So when we are talking of understanding tolerance is really understanding who you are, because in the first instance, you cannot remake him. You cannot make people to be who you are. You cannot subject people to what you want. And if you cannot subject people to what you want, then the best thing is for you to now know that, well, for me to continue to live happily, then I must understand that, well, that is who he is, that Imam is richer and is more flamboyant. I just have to give it to him. And that should not in any way infringe upon our friendship. So that is tolerant.
Imam, have you heard the salvo?
Yes, I can say Archbishop is nailing you everywhere.
No, don't worry.
Marrying and here and here.
Don't worry.
What I would just wish to add to what the Archbishop has said is this is where the issue of this principle comes in, principle of individual differences. Individual differences, there is no way you can have two people possessing equal quality. It's never possible.
No, that's not.
And then these people are made to live together. Then how do they live together? Considering these differences.
I will give you one example when you finish between me and Archbishop.
So when you have these differences, how do they live together?
Okay.
It has to be by tolerance, by accommodating each other.
Okay.
Let me say, even identical twins.
Yes.
Identical twins that you can hardly differentiate in between them, but they still possess one quality or the other that they must have to accept and understand one another on that, accommodate each other on that. So tolerance is key in our lives.
That's true.
And there is no way one can live comfortably, one can live peacefully, even within himself, without applying this tolerance, bringing it into his own daily life. It is a must that you must accommodate another
It gives
person.
you happiness.
And that gives you joy and happiness. As he said, though he was quoting from a Bible that a woman should love her husband while her husband should understand the wife. You see, when he was saying it, it was widening my scope of understanding of issues. Because as a man, understand your wife.
Yes.
Why is Bible using that word, understand your wife? She's coming from a different background.
Yes.
From a different family where she is very familiar with, now accepting to come and live with you and live permanently. Then you must understand the nitty-gritty, what is her likes, what is her dislikes, what gives her joy, what gives her, all these things must have to be under the umbrella of tolerance
And understanding. Okay. Well, I think I agree with you, because when you don't understand, you won't be able to do it well, and you won't be happy. There will be happiness will be elusive.
Exactly.
For example, I've accepted that Archbishop is richer, and I know God that has done is God has done for him, and there's something I could do, and I accept it that way, and I'm happy that he is. You see, I'm feeling shy to let people know what somebody that is using phone they sell in dollars, but But I will not say that one, so that I don't want you to know, so that you will not, I will not say it out. But I accepted it, despite being more handsome than Archbishop. He's still Richard, I still accept it. But what we are going to do now is, many people, they won't accept that. But me, I accepted it. But we've seen that for us to have a happy home, for us to have a happy community, for us to have a happy country, we actually need to tolerate each other. But there are certain things that will not allow us to do that. Or that is the main thing that is happening in our country or in the world now, that does not allow one group to tolerate the other group. Can we highlight that? Perhaps so that a known problem becomes a solved problem. So what are the things that you can highlight, that you can see that there are the things that will not allow us to tolerate each other?
Well, like I mentioned in the earlier, I think when we think we are better than the other person, earlier than that, it becomes a problem. When you think your religion is better than the other religion, it becomes a problem. And when we bring it in Nigeria, for instance, when you think your own tribe is superior to the other person's tribe, it becomes a problem. And when you think the party you belong to, the group you belong to, the sect you belong to is better and superior to others, that is what leads to conflict within the society we find ourselves. So I think tolerance is a very useful ingredient that needs to be applied for us to have a very viral society and a country. Look at, for instance, the political atmosphere we have found ourselves now. It is because of lack of tolerance that suspicion, we begin to suspect ourselves.
Right.
Christians are suspicious of Muslims. Muslims are suspicious of Christians, which was not when Nigeria started. We have seen situations whereby the politicians, religion played no role whatsoever in the life of the founding fathers of Nigeria. But today, because of certain selfishness from the part of even these same politicians, they are trying to play up religion to the extent that people, religious adherents, are beginning to now say, no. If they say this person is the CBN governor, the first thing they will ask is, which religion, where is he from, and which religion does he practice? We no longer look at competence, we no longer look at the quality and what that person can really bring on the table. So I think this time around, this topic is very, very timely.
Okay.
In the sense that Nigerians, we need to go back to our originality, seeing ourselves first as Nigerian before seeing ourselves as a member of one political party, as a member of one family, as a member of one religion. So I think if we are able to understand that, and we see, like I said, many of the things that we found ourselves doing, they are by accident. Sometimes some people find themselves in PDP today. It is not because they want to be there, maybe because of their friends. They find themselves there. So, but the primary thing is that how to develop Nigeria, how to make Nigeria a great nation, a nation that will bring together everybody. So, if time will permit us, I think we need to talk to those who are ruling us, the politicians, on the need for them to really apply this principle of tolerance, especially at this critical time.
No, that's what we discussed last.
So I think we'll get there.
Tolerance.
Exactly.
What are the things you can identify that is militating against tolerance?
Yes, my own, I will dwell much on the issue of religion.
Okay.
Because the way religion is being used today to set in division among the citizens is so alarming. So alarming that, like, we, from our own perspective as a Muslim in Islam, the Prophet of Islam has exemplified how a Muslim can live and live harmoniously with those that are not Muslims. His migration to Medina.
Oh, good.
When he went to Medina, when he migrated to Medina in those days, there were about 45% of those living in Medina then were Jews. 40% were pagans. And then he only went with about 15%. You can see how the society,
The demographic distribution
of population, but they lived harmoniously, and even Quran directed and informed the Muslims that وَلَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّكَ لَآمَنَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ كُلُّهُمْ جَمِيعًا. Our Creator, Allah, if He had so wished, He would have created the entire mankind to be following one religion. But in His own wisdom,
He did not want it that
He did not want it that way. So you could have somebody who is a Muslim, but another person who is not a Muslim could be more humble, could do so many things that the person that you share the same faith with cannot do. You cited so many examples now. You are citing an example that Muslims go to worship centers of Christians and get benefits. As Christians also go to Muslims worshiping centers and get benefits. But where did we get it wrong? And how did we get this issue of religion being abused, in particular by most of the politicians? Politicians at any time, they are after their own motive. They are always after their own motive. What can they gain? What can they use to gain popularity, to divide? Because they always, many of them have that thinking, that implementing that principle of divide and what? And rule. Wherever they feel is tribe they can use to divide, they will strike in the issue of the tribe. Wherever they go and they see even people of the same faith, they will just see and create one artificial issue to log the people against one another. So, the Prophet, while he was even in Mecca, practice your own religion, I practice my own religion. Lakum dinukum waliya din.
Meaning,
you have practiced your own religion, let me practice my own religion.
okay, so it means nobody can impose under or his own religion.
Yes.
Well, I think we are getting there small. There's even something that I actually also want to add. I see non-tolerance as deceit. We say we don't want Christian. When a Muslim goes to UK, he doesn't remember his religion. Why he gets there? He gets everything he needs. He sends it back home. It is when he comes back now, he now be fomenting problem in Nigeria that it is a Christian. When Christian goes to Dubai, they go to Oman, they make money, they make things. They don't even allow them to go to church on Sunday. They go to church on Friday. They are not complaining Muslim subjugation. They are not complaining Muslim something. They make money, send it back home. When they come to Nigeria, they will causing us problem to say Muslim. We will not take it. We will go on a short break now. When we come back, we continue with it. Yeah, welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Abrahamic Mission and we are discussing tolerance. Archbishop and Imam have really told us that tolerance is accepting other people the way they are, not the way you think they should be. I think I've summarized what you So you don't think that people should be whom you are. You allow people to be whom they are, where you are whom you are. And that is tolerance. And when you see them that way, then be rest assured that things will be better. You can be part of this program by sending your messages to 070-449-44949. WhatsApp messages and SMS messages alone, no call, please. Archbishop, I'm sorry. Do we now say that God Himself, what does God want? Let me put it that way. As far as, because does it mean that if you are a Christian, anybody who is a Muslim is your enemy. You don't want to hear anything from him, and that is how it should be. In fact, there's some group of religious group, they will say the next person is a devil, is even this one that is doing that. What does God want in that area, Archbishop?
In one of my church cathedrals in Lagos, I was there for the lady to help me type some things, and she did it perfectly. And I asked her, I said, do you belong to the choir or ushering department? The next thing she told me is that I'm a Muslim. I said, you're a Muslim and you are working in the cathedral church, in African Church Cathedral? She said, yes. I asked the provost, I said, so this girl is a movie. So as he said, look, she is the best. Even during the interview and everything, she got best, and that is it. I said, this is wonderful. When it was time for her to go and pray, she will go and pray. And she's working, she's the one that is type whatever you want to type in the church. As I'm talking to you, she's still there. And she's a Muslim. I think the problem is not, like we have rightly said, it's not religion. What God wants is for us to show love to our fellow human beings. Unfortunately, what we have today, Nigeria has gotten so rotten to the extent that you will see people, when they want to employ now, what they are interested in is the name she or he carries. If it's a Muslim name, if the executive director is a Muslim, he would likely employ that. And that is why we are not getting results. Or if it's a Christian, you want to employ him or her because he's a Christian, you won't get the best. If we go back to what used to make Nigeria great, that is, you look at the best. The only aspect, the only area we still apply the best is in sport in Nigeria. Look at the Commonwealth Games.
I just appreciate the Minister of Sport.
The Minister of Sport for that. You see, when it comes to sport, we present our best.
No, not every time we present the best.
Yeah, every time. Whenever we play politics, we get failure. But when we present our best, we get the best. So, and I think the philosophy behind sport, I think, is the best that we need to do. Even in this international premiership football, whenever the coach wants to play his preferred player, you will see that he won't get result. So, but when you play the right person to the right position, you get your best. So I think that is what God wants. That is what we also need to move. So you mentioned the issue of Muslim tickets.
I actually want to raise it specifically. But we want to delve into it.
I think, you see, I'm a member of an executive member of CAN. CAN was not happy, was against Muslim tickets. Because we felt we should balance the ticket.
Oh, I'm happy that I'm hearing for the first time.
Yes, that we were not happy with it. But after the parties, or particularly the APC, came up with their decision to field Muslim ticket, then we now said, well, we have played our role as a body meant for Christianity in Nigeria, by saying no, field it. But we are not politicians. The politicians have their business is to govern, to win election. And once they have done that, then what we have done our own business. The next thing, the business that is left for us to do is to go back to our God and pray that, God, if it is your will, let whoever that will come be. CAN has not and did not object to
Muslim.
No, we objected to Muslim ticket, but we are not against any candidate. Now that the parties have done what they know how best to do by bringing out their candidate, CAN is not against any candidate. We are not against any individual. All we are saying now is that go out, what they manifest, whatever they present to you, if you are happy with it, vote according to your conscience, because nobody knows the mind of God in every situation. In fact, the Bible says there are some things that looks stupid before man, but before God is wisdom. So that is the more reason why. But some people are misunderstanding the position of Khan. Khan is not in any way saying Christians should not vote for a particular candidate, but because Khan is a Christian umbrella, we participated in saying, please balance it. And since it was not done that in their own wisdom, because we are not politicians, the politicians know politics more than us.
Yes.
We as religious people, our business is to pray and to guide the nation to the right path. And since just like, for instance, it was the desire of Nigerians that after the 8-year rule of another candidate president, if you go to the south, and then some party said, okay, let it go to the south, and the one that take it to the south, APC for instance, give it to a Southern Muslim, PDP in their own wisdom, because it is their business, they say, well, they cannot shift, take it to the south this time around, let us give it to another northerner. Now a northerner emerge, another party, this person, Labour Party said, well, they are bringing it to the south. Now, since the political parties have done what they know how best to do, it is not for us as religious leaders to now begin to raise, not just to judge, but to begin to whip up sentiments and in order to set Nigeria on fire. And that is not the position of Khan. I have to put it right here. Khan is not against any candidate. Khan is not against Atiku. It's not against Tinubu. It's not against Obi. And Khan has also not endorsed any candidate. And that is what is expected of a religious body. What Khan is simply doing is churches should go and pray. If any church now says, because it is even dangerous for any church, any pastor to come out on the pulpit and say, this is the candidate you should vote for. In every congregation, we have different people that belong to different parties. So it means you are saying the man that does not belong to the party of that person should not come to your church again. So it is dangerous, and that is why we have to be very careful. So now coming to tolerance, I think you see, like we started by saying God has created us differently. We have different qualities, and we should just understand it. What Nigeria needs today, what church leaders, Muslim leaders need today, is to understand the fact that the politicians will do what they need to do, and what they know how best to do is what they have done. Let's tolerate them, let's understand with them, and then in our own right conscience, for instance, I will vote based on what the candidates will present to me. If you present,
not say
it does not matter whoever that is the candidate. If you tell me today you have the magic to revive Nigeria's economy, the magic to bring dollar back to naira, to become valuable, for food to be on people's table, and if I'm convinced, if I'm persuaded, I vote for you. Even if you are a Muslim, I vote for you. I am saying this as a person. I will not vote for you because you are a Christian. I will not vote for you because you are a Muslim. I will vote for you on my conviction that you are genuine. You love Nigeria. You are patriotic. You want to bring Nigeria up. And I think that is how Nigeria can become a great nation if we play down sentiments, ethnic and religious sentiments.
I really appreciate you for this, that you are really teaching us how to. Let me allow you to talk first, because I don't want to take your time.
Already Archbishop have already
continue.
I don't want to have something. But on these issues, number one, for us to tolerate one another, we need to understand each other. What is our differences? Accept our differences, devise the means to accommodate each other based on our differences. Now, I can see Archbishop was very serious, and he was seriously even looking at you, that if not that you are far from him, as if he was going to, because this
you want to give me something.
No,
you have not been giving me
using religion to achieve what people want to achieve. It shouldn't be in this modern age. When in this country of ours now, we are faced with series of challenges. As religious leaders, what we should come up with now is what can we do at least to put an end to so many of these challenges that we are passing through. In our own submissions in this sitting, what we have lost completely or almost completely in this country is compromising quality and allowing sentiment to overshadow the quality the best. When we go to so many parastatals, like the Archbishop put it, anybody that wants to employ, is he from my own side? We sacrifice, we compromise quality, we compromise the best. Competence. These politicians, every right-thinking politician will always be after how is he going to win his election. He doesn't put religion, that because I am this, that because I am this. How? Who will I use to win my election? And they all have their own parameters, which they use. They all have what they use in arriving at where they are today. Now, somebody will tell you, already, a Muslim from the south, a Muslim from the north, he has his own calculations. What are the yardstick that could earn me more vote from this side, more vote from the other side? So using religion as some people are today, I can be convinced that based on what so and so are putting on the table to bring an end to this insecurity that we are engulfed in, anywhere you can't move an inch now, you can't travel by road and feel safe, secured, unless you arrive at the destination. The day first I was on my way to Kaduna. Since when I left Abuja to Kaduna,
Are you ready?
praying.
That's what I mean.
While we were there at Kaduna, though that information had been debunked by Kaduna State government, we learned that that they are causing over all these things. So you see this type of rumor, by the time you are hearing it, you will get scared. So we should be looking at issues now, not sentiment.
Okay. I think I will now take it from you that we should be looking at issues and not sentiment. If we continue to look at sentiment, it will not pay
Take us anywhere.
And let me give you why it will not pay us. That's why I want you to end this thing. In Offer, I've related that story. I don't know you are in the studio that day. There was a time of our people.
I was here then.
Oh, you are here.
Yes.
They needed a school. What they did was that the Muslims in North at that time, I think it was 1970 something, they had money. But the Christian, they go to school. The Christian, they have the technical know-how. The Muslim, they have the power to make technical work. So they now brought, I think, 6 Muslims, 6 Christian. They brought them together. Professors, those who can do, and those who can fund. The two groups, they came together. They established what they call Offer Grammar School today. Offer Grammar School produced so many big people in this country, including some people in NTA, so many big people, including the former governor of Kwara State, and so many people from the north. It was a product of tolerance and understanding that gave them such an opportunity today. That school has produced a lot of vice chancellors, a lot of professors, a lot of every department of human endeavor. Supposing the Christian said, no, I can't do things with Muslim, or the Muslim said, no, I can't work with the Christian, what do you think will have happened? How do you now apply such a system into our nation today? I will start from the Imam. Because with this politician, if we allow politicians to continue to dictate for us, and some people who are politically agitating because of their personal pockets or because of their personal interests, if we allow them to continue, it's like when you are in a boat and one person is opening the boat, you say it doesn't concern you. The rest assured all of you will sing together. What can we do? How do we apply this to have a better nation?
Yes, our religious leaders should defend their position.
I don't understand.
They should defend their position. Their rule.
I don't understand.
What is their rule?
Is it defend or define?
Define and
Okay,
defend.
define. Okay.
Define their position.
Okay.
As religious leaders, people who guide,
Okay.
people who direct, people who others looks onto to emulate.
And if the people who are telling us we should vote for people from our religion,
That is why I say they should define their position and their objective. And they should be very, very sincere in what they dish out to their followers. Because definitely, these followers are trust. These followers are trust under their care. And whatever they direct them to do, good or bad, definitely will still come back to them. Because the end result of each, either good or opposite, will still come back to them. So whatever religion,
because you are one of them, why are you using them?
no, yes, you know I am. So what I am saying is, as a religious leader,
Okay.
we should try as much as possible to direct our followers to that which is the best.
Okay.
To that which we feel on our own is the best.
Is it what we feel or what God wants?
What God wants.
Yes, if I say, I am convinced. I am convinced that this is the direction, this is what God wants. Whatever I'm going to tell my followers, I should be very, very sincere in telling them the truth and what God really wants, because I'm convinced in that.
Okay.
Well,
Sure.
let me start by saying Christians are apprehensive because of what actually I must confess that this present government has not done well in the area of fairness and justice when it comes to appointments and other things. And maybe because of, not just maybe, because I'm part and parcel of the body of Christ, the highest body of Christ in Nigeria, I think our fears is as a result of what we have seen under this dispensation. And I want to now say that much as I appreciate the fears of Christians, I want to assure us that, you see, God is the God that rules in the affairs of men. Our fear, the fear of the Christians is that they will Islamize Nigeria. And I don't think that is possible. Just like this mission, this platform has been trying to say that we need to tolerate ourselves. Muslims will continue to exist until this world comes to an end, and Christians will continue to exist. Nobody can wipe out any religion, because it is God's desire, it is God's will that we exist. So we should not, because of what is happening now, begin to now think that we cannot live peaceably with our Muslim brothers. I believe that whoever that emerges come next year, by the grace of God, Nigeria will be better for it.
By God's grace.
No, we should not whip up religious sentiments or ethnic sentiments. If we feel, like I said, the business of the church and the mosque is to pray. There is no one that is greater than God. If we feel the person we are suspecting that this one, if he comes, he will Islamize, go and cry to your God quietly and say, God, change the heart of this man. Up to today in my own church, my own type of church, we pray for Muhammadu Buhari. We mention his name and pray for him. The Bible says we should pray for those in authority. So we continue to pray for them, that God should give them a heart of loving. And if we believe in the prayers we are praying every time, then we should not begin to now set Nigeria on fire. Nobody, no country can withstand religious war. And that is what I think we should avoid. If we continue in this way by setting Christians against Muslims and the Imam setting Muslims against Christians, nobody will live to survive any religious war. So I think in order that we will continue to do, so let us go back to God. God who is the Almighty, God who sees the heart of every man. Whoever that becomes our president, God will rule in his heart, and he will do what is right for all Nigerians. Religion should be played down. And even if I will have my way, any public gathering, government public gathering, they should not be praying again. Let our prayers be limited to church and mosque. When it is a public program, say the national anthem.
No, the second stanza.
The second stanza of national anthem. Let us say that. Don't say the Christian prayer, Muslim prayer. Let us have one uniform prayer, which is our national anthem. Let us play down the issue of religion and play up real politics. Politics is about good governance. Politics is about making people's welfare of the people, securing the lives of people. And by the time we do that, unfortunately, a governor went recently to Osun State and was telling Muslims, vote only for Muslims. These are the politicians that are not helping matters. Don't let all our politicians, please, especially Nigeria is very tense now. There is tension in Nigeria. The way we can bring it down is for all of us to play down religion and look at the best quality. If that person you feel is the best that can lead Nigeria, vote for him, convert for him, but don't bring down others. Don't say this one is a stupid man, this one is a thief, this one is unhealthy. The life of every man is in the hands of God. Yes. You may think this person will die and he may not die. And you may think this person is the best and he may not be. I'm not conversing for anybody, but I'm just saying is that let us play this politics with tolerance. This topic of today. With tolerance, which is understanding. Let us go to 2023, because if it happens now, where do we have to run to? We don't have any other country to go. Yeah. It is this same country, and we will not allow political religion, because religion will not destroy this country, but political religion can destroy us. So we are appealing to our politicians to please, in the name of God, put down religion, go to people, sell your manifesto, and by the grace of God, the best man and woman will emerge as our leader come 2023, irrespective of his or our religion or the party, by the grace of God.
Yes,
I know you want to say
what Archbishop has said. He mentioned something that some people are having that fear that they may Islamize Nigeria. Let me put it in one of the write-ups I read days back. That if the issue of Muslim ticket will Islamize Nigeria, the presidential candidate of APC, let him Islamize his family. You can see, and this presidential candidate of APC, when he was the governor in Lagos State, everybody have attested to the fact that it's not only Muslims that were in his cabinet. Even the current vice president, which is attorney general, and so many other Christians, they were holding key positions.
So the opponent to even Islamize Nigeria was when our current president was the military president, Muslim military president and deputy. That time nobody will call them.
Let me even add one thing. Nigeria, as I read one of the articles, joined OIC during Yakubu was the one that took Nigeria to OIC.
It's an association. OIC is an association.
So amazing Nigeria. I don't know where that fear is coming up from.
No, I think we will still continue to talk on it. Yes. I am sure you will still going to talk on it. And these politicians that are using it to have their own, like Basho said, anything that will give them political strength of votes is what they will use. You even mentioned it. It can be tribe, it can be politics, it can be religion. Whatever they use they can use at a particular point in time. We know it, and will not allow this to destroy our country. We will change it by God's grace. We'll have a better country. We'll have a better Nigeria where everybody will live happily and with the fear of God, and we enjoy by the special grace of God. We'll still continue this discussion very soon by God's grace. But I want to thank our guest today. I want to thank you, Archbishop, for this insightful discussion and for being passionate about what we discussed today. Thank you so much. Probably because when somebody is getting older, you just mark his birthday. I won't tell you the age. So the age is coming. So Archbishop, we are very grateful.
In this direction, I'm not supporting you because I can see the Archbishop is getting younger and younger.
Thank you very much.
No, you can't be looking at
the tolerance.
My sister, I can't get younger. You get older. So, and I want to thank you, the Imam. Thank you so much for the time and for the everything you have put in place for this program. I want to appreciate you until when we meet next time. I say thank you to all of us that have been there. My name still remains Imam Fuad Adeyemi, telling you bye bye.
Did you get to see the way telling about the post this? Don't forget to send in your messages.
The difference between chicken, chow, and is largely cool. The idea come in that is the can do more with less people.
If we have a better way of addressing these issues, taking care of.
Congratulations, you were able to sign Timo Werner from RB Leipzig.
Take water before your workout.
People have used that for a TikTok to do this. Like
You can go for test that.
a lot of people don't even have resources.
I'm Cecil, and this is the Medley Show on NTA.
I'm actually a passionate baker. I don't rest until everything is done.
When I entered university, anytime I'm broke, I'll make cupcakes and go and sell to the other students.
Decorating cake it's an artistic thing, and art is, dynamic.
Join us on Baker's World every Thursday on the network service of the NTA. Baker's World, celebrating creativity. Don't miss it.
This is the network service of the NTA.
According to Clive Staples Lewis, a British writer, two heads or more are better than one. Not because either is infallible, but because they are unlikely to go wrong in the same direction. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Last Mile with Naka. I am Adesuwa Osui. The combined efforts of the government of Nigeria through the leadership of the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, the Global Fund, and the United States President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, in what is called the National Alignment on HIV Response, has yielded remarkable results. Stay with us to find out more on this.
The HIV Alignment Agreement between the Government of Nigeria, United States President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, and the Global Fund is one that defines roles and responsibilities, essentially contributing to improved coordination and reduced duplication of efforts in the national HIV response.
What national alignment simply means is that in the past, we have 3 different programs, all supporting the national response. We have the United States President's Program on AIDS Relief, PEPFAR. We have the Global Fund to fight HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria. And then we have the Government of Nigeria. All these programs have resources. All these programs are implemented at the grassroots, at the state level, and all these programs have teams. However, what we get to realize over time is that there are duplications in the way we work. And the purpose of the alignment is to minimize those duplications, to have a one national response, one national program that we are going to call the national response to HIV. And that national response to HIV encompasses all the stakeholders that are supporting the national response. The program led by PEPFAR is part of it, the Global Fund is part of it, and the government of Nigeria is part of it, and it's led by the government. So now we have one national program that we now give account instead of 3 different programs that we give account.
In essence, the spirit of the alignment has essentially been that all 3 partners trying to implement this one agenda that we've always had. We've always understood the 3 ones, NACA being the principal coordinating agency, having one M&E system, and also having one national program. But the way we were working before did not look like we were doing that. So the alignment gave us an opportunity to come back to that agenda. And now the way we look at the program under the alignment is that, look, we sit down together and agree as stakeholders what the priorities of the program are. We determine how best to position the available resources from all partners in such a way that we can get the most effective outcomes in terms of people that are getting on treatment, in terms of all the other things that we want to do with the HIV program. So that essentially has become the spirit of the alignment. We share responsibility in that way. It's now everybody's collective responsibility, and we're essentially on the table implementing one national program, and that's what we've gotten out of it.
Though talks about the national alignment has been on for some time, it didn't come online until about 2 years ago.
In Nigeria, as a moment, the HIV response is mainly resourced by the government of Nigeria, the US government, and the Global Fund. However, US government has the highest proportion, in terms of resources supporting the national response to HIV, and then Global Fund, and then government of Nigeria. And each of these players have their own different business models, if you like. Sometimes when we review our programs, we realize that there are some disparities in terms of package of service from the US government vis-a-vis that of the government of Nigeria and the Global Fund. And we felt if we are serving the same population within the country, then the quality should actually be the same. Package of service should be the same, irrespective of who is funding it. And that's how we started discussing, to say, okay, we need to come together to have an alignment, national alignment of the HIV program, where everybody will come together, pool their resources together in one pool, and deliver the services to the people who need it under the national program, under the leadership of NACA and Federal Ministry of Health, which is in charge of the health sector response, but the partners are now behind providing that support. So essentially, that's the history and the principle of the national alignment program on HIV.
After the NICE survey, again, the NICE survey itself was a pooled effort from the 3 partners. So the alignment didn't actually start today, because we all came together to fund the NICE and implement it together. But after the NICE, we now had intel, knowledge about, in terms of a geography and in terms of populations also, where the HIV epidemic was really raging in the country. And thinking about trying to get ahead of the epidemic, we realized that what needed to happen is that, though we didn't have all the resources, but we needed to prioritize those places that had the worst epidemic, because they were essentially going to be the fuel for the epidemic going forward. So a few states were identified that had the biggest epidemic, the biggest unmet needs, basically the number of people projected who were HIV positive but did not yet have access to treatment. And PEPFAR launched what we call the surge, treatment surge. So in essence, focusing resources that way allowed us to demonstrate that it was possible to reach huge numbers of people in a very short period of time. Given that for probably 15 years before we got to the surge agenda, we had accumulated about 700,000 people on treatment. But in 2 years, we took that number from 700,000 people to about 1.1 million people on treatment. So learning from the PEPFAR experience, it was thought that since PEPFAR already had a very successful model of getting and finding people on treatment, we should become primarily the boots on ground. So a lot of the Global Fund sites were handed over to the PEPFAR implementing partners. A lot of, Abuja and Taraba that was previously being managed by the government was also handed over to PEPFAR implementing partners with the intention that they will be able to take what they had learned out of the surge experience across the country. In doing that, there was a need also to find the resources to make sure that commodities were available to service those who are being found. We needed commodities to make sure we test those who are accepted to be tested. We needed ARVs, antiretroviral treatment, to make sure that we're able to put on treatment those who are found to be HIV positive, and therefore nobody is left lagging. So the contribution of the government and the Global Fund essentially moved strategically towards funding a lot more in terms of commodity needs. PEPFAR still putting what he had in commodities, but now being the significant boots on ground in terms of the treatment program, to a large extent also the prevention program, especially as it affects key population, while Global Fund still maintains footprint in that area. It's much smaller, and it's also something that helps us to ensure that we have standardization in our service delivery.
Harmonized key population service packages of the federal government, Global Fund and PEPFAR contributed significantly in improving the HIV cascade year by year in the country.
But one thing that we have noticed with the alignment is that the coming together and looking at what we do and looking at areas of expertise and strength for each group, we now reassign roles and responsibilities. You're very good at providing clinical services. We allow you to provide the clinical services all over the country. You're very good at procurement and logistic management. We allow you to do the procurement and manage logistics with all the resources that you have. That way, we're getting more value for money. We've seen a remarkable increase in terms of number of people we're identifying and we're linking to care. One, because more resource is made available now, because the duplication is identified and is taken care of. So funds are released to add in terms of the number we have. Second, there are programs that are not accounted for before, and now we're getting to take account of them. Meaning there are individuals that are receiving services in some facilities, probably private facilities, faith-based facilities, that are not captured in our radar. So now we get them captured in our radar. So because of that, the number that we identify and the number we treat has tremendously increased.
Now, in the short time we've done it, just 2 years, we've also massively now grown the treatment coverage. Right now, we have about 1.8 million people on treatment. A lot of those people, a significant proportion of them, as I said before, just again recently found through just in the recent period that we implemented this alignment. So the alignment even allowed Nigeria to be one of the only countries that even during the COVID epidemic, the raging COVID epidemic, and all the lockdowns and all the challenges that the rest of the world was having, we're one of the only countries that continued to grow our HIV program even during the COVID epidemic. And that's the success that the whole world has come to recognize, and really applaud the country for. But we achieved that because we were able to come together as stakeholders under this alignment framework. So now that we've done it for the treatment program, we're also thinking about how to also align other aspects of our programs, how to other aspects of the investments that are available. It's a big country. Despite the huge amount of resources that are available from all these partners, it's still not enough to meet all of the needs of the HIV program. So the alignment gives us an opportunity to think strategically about how we prioritize resources and the limited resources that are available to make sure they achieve the outcomes that we desire. And like I said, it's been a fantastic success so far, and we look to see how else we can also expand the alignment conversation.
But some gaps in the national HIV response, if not addressed, threatens to roll back achievements made over time.
Alignment actually has what I would call the three pillars. All right, one supply chain system, one data system, and the third leg is coordination. All right, which role that coordination role must be played by the government, and that coordination includes joint planning. It includes managing the program over time and ensuring that the health system is robust enough to sustain, all the programs beyond donor support. What it means is also that beyond alignment at national level, the states, subnational level entities have a critical role to play. So that bit, that third leg, we haven't done very well, in my opinion. For maybe obvious reasons you ask me, that it's about system building, which will take a longer time to mature. Okay, stakeholder engagement is involved, consensus building is involved, capacity building is also involved, and these things actually will take some bit of time, and I think that should be our focus, particularly within the next funding cycle, or even starting from now. We don't have to wait, because without that, sustainability is jeopardized. Okay, ownership is questioned also. All right, ownership both at national and subnational level.
The HIV Alignment Agreement between the Government of Nigeria, PEPFAR and Global Fund has enhanced availability of and access to HIV services, improved quality of services, and strengthened health information systems and the role of non-state actors in healthcare.
Optimization for quality, improved quality, and also rapid coverage, because we realized that when we started doing that, the resources we have, if it was going to take us through 8 to 10 states, it was able to take us through more than 8 to 10 states. So because you gain efficiency through optimization, and that way you move faster. And also the strategies that is working under the PEPFAR program, for example, or under the Global Fund program, for example, we now adopted it as a national strategy and spread it across board. So that way we're able to close gaps faster.
And what this does is it is bringing us closer to controlling the epidemic, because epidemic control is all about identifying individuals that live with the virus and keeping the virus within them, not letting the virus move around to affect people that don't have the virus in them. And in that respect, we have estimated the last 2-3 years, when we did this survey all over the country, that the number that live with HIV in Nigeria is barely around 2 million. Out of that 2 million, we've successfully identified 1.8 to date. So, give and take, we have 200,000 to 300,000, at most 400,000 more to go. In terms of the number of people who need to identify for us to look back and say, we are confident that over 95% of people that live with this virus in Nigeria have been identified. And over 95% of those that know they have HIV in them are now receiving life-saving medication that is helping to deny the virus opportunity to grow within people that live, which means it's helping to keep the virus within this individual. And we can also say that over 95% of people who are taking this medication to help fight the virus, the medication is succeeding in fighting the virus. The virus is actually kept low. It is suppressed and it is not moving, which means infection cannot happen from this particular individuals, which means over 95% of people who have the virus are not giving it out to others. Those that are given out are negligible, maybe 2%, 3%, which over time, they will be identified in our routine care services. But we are not likely to see large number coming and adding into the number of people that already exist that have the virus in.
Much work has been done in the fight against HIV/AIDS in Nigeria. However, more work needs to be done. Together, we can end AIDS by the year 2030, even amidst coronavirus pandemic.
Educate yourself. This is crucial in the fight against HIV and AIDS.
Get tested. The only way to know for certain your status and stop the spread. Get involved. People with HIV and AIDS need care and support.
Say no to stigma. Stigma prevents people from getting tested and those living with HIV from treatment.
Spread the word. The more we educate others about the disease, the better we can fight it.
Adhere to COVID-19 prevention protocols, wear a face mask, and maintain physical distance in public places.
Remember, only united can we defeat HIV to finish and end AIDS by the year 2030. Get tested today. Let's fight HIV to finish in Nigeria.
Two heads, or in this case, three, are indeed better than one. Update segment is next. Keep watching.
The National Gender and Human Rights Technical Working Group is one of the platforms used in coordinating the national HIV and AIDS response in Nigeria. It brings together stakeholders from relevant partners, ministries, departments and agencies, communities of people living with HIV, faith-based organizations, among others.
We bring everybody together quarterly to update ourselves on the national response, what we're doing, what are the activities that we have identified, we pre-planned to track them, to also share best practices, to share lessons learned, to document experiences and track what we're doing, and specifically to ensure there's alignment between what different partner resources is doing, especially as regards to gender and human rights related interventions. So we do this quarterly to keep ourselves abreast of the response and also to ensure that we are all together, we're on the same page in delivering that target of ending AIDS in Nigeria as part of the global community.
Speaking further, the Deputy Director, Community Prevention, Care and Support Services, NACA, stated the purpose of the session.
When we develop programs, it's also part of programming to develop how to monitor and evaluate HIV response. It's divided into two arms: the health sector components of data management system and non-health sector component, which also deals with what we do in the community, especially now in this case around gender and human rights. So we develop indicators, we develop information management through tracking tools, data collection tools, and that is one of the activities we are updating, reviewing. So we are completing the process of developing indicators and information management tools to track gender and human rights related activities. So our research and monitoring team, they are sharing with the technical working groups for their buy-in and to prepare them for rollout. So that is what everybody will be keen into to help us track the activities, gender and human rights related activities in the national response. So it was presented to the technical committee for ratification and in preparation for rollout.
Technical platforms such as the National Gender and Human Rights Technical Working Group are essential to the national HIV response.
Sister! They go like this now. Take am easy now. Now, hospital I dey go to do HIV test. Now, everything you dey do HIV test. Before you carry belle, you do HIV test. Now you dey rush go do another HIV test. What you dey find, you go see am o. No be so, my sister. HIV test no be bad thing. Now make I know my status so that no matter the result, my pikin no go get HIV. HIV fit pass from mama to pikin. Yes, so during pregnancy or labor, or even when we dey breastfeed the pikin. Yes, and My husband dey road dey come sef, he go meet me for hospital. We go do the test together. Hey, your husband na man he be. But wait oh, una no dey fear. What if the result come out positive? Fear wetin na? HIV no be death sen ten ce and medicine don dey to take manage am. See, nowadays people wey get HIV dey live their life normal like everybody else. You sure say I no go follow you go do my own so? Wetin you dey wait for now? Come make we go jare. With quick action, we fit stop this HIV waka from mama to pikin. Go do your own HIV test today.
For more information on HIV and AIDS and related diseases, or to report suspected cases of stigma and discrimination, violence and human rights violation, please call the National Call Center, toll-free on 6222. Reach us via social media at National Call Center or email callcenter@naca.gov.ng and visit our website on naca.gov.ng. Thanks for watching, and as always, continue to support the HIV response. Do not stigmatize or discriminate people living with HIV. Avoid indiscriminate sex. And lastly, know your status and take action. Till next week on The Last Mile with NACA, I am Ades Welsi. Goodbye.
There's a start.
Sheriff, it's up that way.
Archbishop of basketball. Go! He hung on that net like a stalk up a tree. NTA Sports 24 brings you all sports, all time and all day. Tune in to watch NTA Sports 24 on Star Times Channel 270, Star Facts on Channel 434, and Free TV on Channel 731. NTA Sports 24, where sports thrive.
From one continent to another, life expectancies differ and infrastructure varies. According to the 2020 Life Expectancy Ranking of Worldometer.info, a data collection site, Asian countries occupy the top 3 positions in longevity. Hong Kong tops the list with a life expectancy of 85.29 years, which is significant due to proper diet and access to adequate health facilities. Japan comes very close with 85.03 years and Macau with 84.68 years. For Japan, a proper diet like fruits and vegetables, fresh meat and fish, and grain-based foods are taken to their advantage, while Macau attributes its success rate to a clean environment and air, easy access to healthcare, excellent education, and a strong economy. However, countries like Germany, the United Kingdom, and the United States are placed in 27th, 29th, and 46th positions, respectively. America spends far more on health than any other country in the world, yet the life expectancy of the American population is shorter than many other advanced nations with less budget. Unlike countries in Asia, Americans have a high rate of obesity, homicides, suicides, and smoking. In Africa, Algeria tops the life expectancy table at the 63rd position with 77.50 years. The North African country is followed by Morocco at number 66 with 77.43 years, and Tunisia at 68th place with 77.36 years. Africa's giant Nigeria is placed 190th on the list of 193 countries, with a life expectancy of about 55.8 years. The country's budget for the health sector far surpasses other countries in the continent. If indeed life begins at 40, then Nigerians may just have 15 years to start living, while their contemporaries in Asia can boast of 45 years of healthy living. With Nigeria at the bottom of the life expectancy rating, the question is, why? Can this be rectified? Are there plans to move up the ladder? And how can this be done?
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
This is the network service of the NTA.
We fight, we settle, we cry, we laugh, we have our issues, but we stick together. We're bound by love, we're bound by blood. Stop together. That's what we are family. That's what we are. Something better. That's what we are family. That's what we are.
Oh, darling, I can see you had a long day in court today.
You will never know.
Sorry, dear. By the time you eat this food for an HSC, you make you relax and enjoy it with a cold glass of shit.
Yes.
My daddy, my daddy, my daddy. I don't know where I put there. Yeah, my daddy. Yeah, without my daddy today.
What's it all about?
Dad. Well, I've noticed that since Mommy Uche here started making you food, she hasn't made you your favorite dish.
But I'm eating everything. What happened to this?
I don't mean to cause trouble, but this is your favorite food with everything in it. Back you.
Just remember.
Daddy, I've improved in cooking. Taste it and see. Okay, maybe you should try our food. Looks like she put a lot of effort into it. You're welcome.
You really have improved.
Yes, I have.
Oh, thanks.
You know, some of us have to prove ourselves.
Nice.
Daddy, I really want to thank you for the 200k you give me last few days.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I also wanted to tell you that the money isn't enough.
I'm back in the food. Oh God. Love it.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy.
What?
I finished your food now. What did I say?
Woman, come back. I actually like that food.
Daddy, eat my own.
No, it's fine. I love it. It's nice.
Don't worry, I won't stop. I won't talk about money again.
It's nothing else. It's fine. I really like it. It's fine. Fantastic cooking.
Shade, is this yours?
No. Remember you and Dad made rule of no booker in the house now.
Exactly. So who's this? Africana food. We deliver amala, fufu, semo,
You must be Soji. Stepmom, I need your help.
Is it about the loan thing?
Yeah, it's just 500k. See, it's where event center. They are organizing a competition for event planners, and the 3 best will be awarded a contract worth millions of naira with a 5 million naira down payment. Can you beat that?
That's impressive.
I'm telling you, and that's why I need the 500k so that I'll be able to organize my own mock event.
Shade, honestly, I wish I could help you, but I don't have the money that you need.
It's just 500k. 500k. Money that Dad will even give you without batting an eye. Say you don't want to help.
Oh, come on, Shade. You know your father. He's very cautious with your expenses. Could barely get him to give me 100k for a professional exam I wanted to do. 500. That's a lot though. Sorry, I can't help you.
You should have told me that now before you asked me to help you in the kitchen. In the kitchen, I'll grinding pepper for you. Okay. I need your help. Go be bunk. And why would I do that?
What on the streets now is that you're going from person to person, begging for money. Wait and I start forming Porsche.
But it's not funny, it's serious.
I said I can't give you money. I didn't say I don't know where you could find it.
Okay, Soji, where can I find money?
Daddy, you former. This is simple now. If Daddy can't give you money, someone else. I mean,
somebody else like who? You know Dad doesn't like that, and the only person that would have loved to help is Auntie Tosi, and she's out of the country. You don't have anybody else to ask. Or else... Genius. You. Oh, I'm done.
The kind of things people get up to these days, it just makes me wonder.
What's the matter?
It's about a friend of mine, but I don't know whether I shouldn't call him a friend of mine. Peace hasn't been a friend. This
crazy, nasty, nauseating, preposterous attitude.
Who's this friend of yours and what has he done to deserve such colorful praises?
You're being sarcastic, right?
No.
Well, it's just as I mean, the kind of things I see him do these days, moving around with young girls who are old enough to be his daughter and messing around with them. Gosh, so annoying.
Like I always say, we should mind our business so other people's headache won't become ours.
Yeah, that's true.
What about Shade?
What about her?
Isn't there a way you can find like a little something to add to the money that she needs?
Sarah, can you stop? You think I'm a liar? Look, I've already crossed my allocation for the month. I don't have any money. I don't even have money for myself.
But can't you find a little something?
Can you stop? Oh, is this some sort of conspiracy between the two of you?
No.
Look, I don't have any money. I don't have to give anybody. Oh,
Just small.
Oh, stop. Say that, stop.
But I'm only trying to help. What is it?
Dad called for a family meeting.
At this time? Yeah. Wait, we're about to have dinner.
So we should come now.
Has anyone seen my phone?
No.
Let's go see it. Maybe I kept it too.
Today, this evening, I shall be presiding over a very serious case. As judge, jury, and executioner, what kind of a judge am I? If I cannot have dignity, respect in my own house, and I find a crime committed, a very heinous crime committed right under my roof.
It's Oji.
What did I do now?
I don't know yet, but whatever it is you. Most criminal.
Mommy too.
Come on, she has a point.
Daddy, I didn't do anything.
Shade, please rise.
Daddy, I'm not interested in being Soji's defense attorney for the night though. Whatever he has done, any punishment you want to give him, he deserves it. He will serve it with dignity.
Shade, you stand accused of having an illegal, illicit affair with an older man. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
There are evidences in this phone to sentence you. Once again, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Shadi.
Wonderful.
Daddy, I can explain.
Explain what? Explain what? So do you get me my cane?
Shadi.
How many times have I warned you? Have I not preached it in this house that no member of this family should go outside to seek monetary favors from anyone? Let's have the effort to go and meet Alhaji Aminu to ask for money. Giving him the effrontery to be sending you romantic, erotic messages. I will deal with it today. No! No daughter of mine will go outside and be behaving irresponsible and because of money and behave like a slut.
Shadi, go to your room. No, don't go. My darling, please. My darling, please.
Daddy,
Pick up.
now what happened? I'm not beating her again.
Go to your room too.
I don't like this kind of pattern. Before it's such a breaking. Now it's leave. See, it will not since I've seen action film. I want to see action film.
Maybe it's you.
Lord.
Shadi, I don't understand. Why?
I needed money. And I told you I needed money, but nobody was willing to help me.
And is that enough reason for you to have an affair? You cannot tell me of all people. Shadi, I'm disappointed in you.
You too. I can't believe this. I didn't do anything. I didn't have an affair with Alhaji Aminu. That's gross. You just said you. Daddy didn't let me explain. I'm not crying because I did anything. I know how clear the evidence is, but it is my father. He's supposed to know me better. I would never do anything like that.
Shadi, talk to me. I'm not your father, okay? I'll listen.
What's going on here? Is that why you called me? Huh?
You called for your meeting last night. Now it's my turn. Please be seated.
Lawyer of life. Boss.
Based on the accusation and misleading evidence yesterday night, it looks like we've all come to the conclusion that Shadi is guilty. However, upon further discussion with my client, I, Uche Abiola, defending Shadi Abiola, we hereby plead not guilty.
That's what I don't lose. Are you joking? You're defending her?
Yes. What is it you always say? Innocent until proven guilty.
Guilty? Come on.
Is she? How did you come up with that conclusion?
Come on. We all saw the text from Justice Aminu on her phone.
Yes. We all saw a text message from Justice Aminu. However, was she directed at her? Was a name mentioned in the text message?
What are you saying? It was to her number.
Now I'll call my client to the stand. Miss Shadi, please sit. Now, could you tell us your relationship with Justice Aminu?
It's a professional one.
Madu. Could you further enlighten us?
Okay. When I couldn't get the money I needed from you or Dad, I decided to get it from Justice Aminu. But also I took into consideration the fact that I am a decent child. I come from a very respectable home. I'm a very hardworking lady.
Decent are you?
I'm the daughter of my father. I contacted him with my request. He agreed, but he wasn't going to give me without conditions because we are not related.
So what happened?
He gave me a better offer.
Obviously.
Which was?
Justice Amin is getting married and he wants me to be the wedding planner. So the loan he's giving to me will be payment for me to plan his wedding as the wedding planner.
Lies. Look, Justice Aminu is not getting married to anyone. How come we, who are benchers, I'm a bencher, he's also a bencher, how come we do not know about this?
Because like you, he's getting married to the woman he loves. And also like you, the woman is much, much younger than him. In fact, to be precise, she's in the same age bracket as Uche and I.
Shaking tables.
You know, he's already married, so he's about to take a new wife. And he wants it to be very, 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 very discreet because of the age of the young lady. And that's why I haven't said anything about it. And the news hasn't picked up yet.
My lord.
So, what about the text message?
Daddy, it was their wedding vows. He sent it to me so that I'll be able to make designs and put it up on the screen on the wedding day.
Okay. So, now it's that you're no more small girl, big god, Abby.
When you were begging, why were you crying?
Because I wanted you to listen. Daddy, you're always too quick to jump into conclusions and it's annoying and ironic. You're a judge. You ought to listen to all sides of the story before you jump into conclusions. And besides, I am your daughter. In all the ways of making money in this life, I will stoop so low to Alaji, of all people.
My daughter. I was only joking. Look, I just wanted to see how it will play out.
So, how's my defense, darling?
Oh my darling, you did exceptionally well. Very, very, very well. Hey.
We fight, we settle, we cry, we laugh, we have our issues, but we stick together. We are bound by honor, we are bound by blood. Stop together. That's what we are family. That's what we are. Victim feather. That's what we are family. That's what we are.
Is a mustard seed, then nurture it, water it, grow it into that tree in your rainforest.
And she already stands in front of it and not sees the picture.
Social issue in our society.
There are certain things you think that is good for you at the same time. There's a bad side.
Yeah. What is it that you want to leave us with today? Everything was all very on.
Our Reality with Sky, 10:30 a.m. every Monday, and it repeats at 12 midnight. Growing up as a child, there is an admiration to want to be like dad, mom, or even a famous actor. But as one ages, more choices begin to emerge due to various social factors and developments. As much as it is admirable to want to be like someone, it is important to understand one's personal dream and purpose in life. Today, famous people all around the world have huge following of fans who love their lives and desire to emulate them. But there's more to modeling after than just copy and paste. Oshodi, a local government in Lagos, has a reputation for children born in this neighborhood, if not closely monitored, many believe could engage in petty theft and grow to be notorious hoodlums. Today, the narrative is being rewritten for these children living in the underbridge area of Oshodi. The project, Chess in Slums Africa, founded by Tunde Onokoya, a professional chess master and coach, is meant to rehabilitate these children who are either orphans or ran away from the villages. The children are engaged in a 2-week session that seeks to unlock their potential through the game of chess while learning to read, write, and acquire basic literacy skills. It takes them through the game of being knights, queens, and kings with promises of more rewards. Aside from prizes won, collaborations are being made with rehabilitation homes and orphanages, and fundraising to provide financial and educational support for these young people. In Ikorodu, also in Lagos, a group of siblings, Babatunde Sani, Muiz Sani, Malik Sani, and their cousin Fawaz Aino, are popularly known as Ikorodu Boys, are young social media sensations.
Who was that guy? That brother was the best damn soldier that ever lived.
I just love acting.
This online comedy group recreates and mimics with childlike playfulness multi-million-dollar music videos, Hollywood movie trailers, and other visual contents using recycled local materials in the neighborhood.
They were hoping if you spin the chamber enough times, you're gonna catch a bullet.
Notable among their works is a reenacted trailer of the Hollywood film Extraction in 2020, which earned them a recognition and award by online streaming platform Netflix. In 2021, they were nominated in the Favorite African Social Media Star at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. Their elder brother doubles as the video editor and manager. Also in Ikorodu, the Dream Catchers Academy, founded by Sheyi Oluyole, is created to transform the lives of less privileged girls who have experienced abuse, neglect, or economic hardship resulting in lack of educational attainment by giving them a chance through quality education and arts. A popular quality about them is their unique dance skill. Aside from the Ikorodu Boys and the Dream Catchers, who have become global sensations, Fumi Omishope is another individual adding value to street children in Kwara State.
These children are human. Sometimes we look at them as if they don't have the same blood that flows through our veins. You know, they are being abused on the road and even by the parent that take them out of bed. And my heart drawn to these children. Imagine a melancholy child begging on the street. A melancholy that something little can set them off. You know, now begging on the street, hearing all manner of rejection and all of that. So that is what drawn me to them.
With her Home and Street Kids Welfare Initiative, Fumi is shaping the lives of these children using education as a means of empowerment.
We used to have an orientation school where they come for 3 months before we enroll them in regular school. But we realized there's only 25% of them that ended up staying in those regular schools because street children are known for freedom. So when they go to regular school and they are being discriminated upon, they are being talked down upon, maybe they go late to school. Some of them, their parents are blind. Both parents are blind. And they will want to take the parent to the junction before they go to school. Now they get to school 8 o'clock and teachers start beating them. They won't come tomorrow. Some of them are so passionate about education that they wake up, wear their clothes and they're running to school without taking their bath. Now, teacher will not understand the fact that they show up, and appreciate them for that. But they see the fact that they smell, and that is what made me to say, okay, now we need to have a own school.
With several initiatives in different communities geared towards turning craving hands to creative minds, the Nigerian child can be positively modeled. Education, right morals, and values are debts every parent and adult owe to every child. Be a positive model and watch the child grow to be a right-thinking adult.
The day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet, and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Anne Jibuno. Here are the headlines. Federal government working on security measures to restore services on Abuja-Kaduna train route. United Nations backs Nigeria's Smart Agriculture Initiative. Plus, Pope Francis urges help for drought-hit Somalia. The federal government says apart from intensifying measures towards the release of all the train passengers abducted 6 months ago, the commencement of commercial services on the Abuja-Kaduna rail line depends largely on putting in place a robust security mechanism that will forestall a repeat of the ugly scenario. The Minister of Transportation, Mwazu Jaji Sambo, re-echoed this in Lagos, while also giving an update on the commencement of freight services on the standard gauge of the Lagos-Ibadan rail line. Michael Olale reports.
Many wins in the rail subsector are almost undermined by security challenges, but the zeal to overcome this problem is ever strong. Apart from exploring options to return to the beautiful old days of the rail transportation, resolving all hindrance to commence freight services on the standard gauge of the Lagos-Ibadan rail line is important to the minister. He gave assurance that delaying takeoff will be addressed as the project is key to the overall infrastructure development agenda of the federal government as contained in its 2021 to 2025 master plan.
This administration has underscored the importance of infrastructure by creating what is called the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund, if you know, to drive certain priority legacy projects. There is no administration in this country that has invested in infrastructure like the Buhari administration.
On changing the tide of the trying times which has stalled services on the Abuja-Kaduna rail line, the minister said government is responding positively with security force in pulling forward.
We are also looking at the best world standard security system to put in place to ensure that forever such a thing will never happen again.
Expanding the rail network, completing ongoing projects, and enhancing the welfare of rail workers, the minister assures are progressing. In Lagos, Michael Alaleye, NTA News.
Elsewhere, Pope Francis urges help for drought-hit Somalia, just as Sierra Leone lifts curfew after deadly cost-of-living protests. These and more with Uche Ugochukwu on Global Update.
Che colpisce la Somalia e alcune
Pope Francis calls for international help for Somalia to fight a deadly drought, which the UN says has displaced 1 million people. The 85-year-old pontiff, after his weekly prayers at the Vatican, drew attention to what he called the serious humanitarian crisis in Somalia and parts of surrounding countries. Ukrainian grain is loaded onto the Lebanese-flagged Brave Commander bulk carrier in the Black Sea port of Pivdani near Odessa. Destined for Ethiopia, the shipment has been specially chartered by the United Nations World Food Programme to tackle food shortages in Africa due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
We are definitely planning other ships to leave the ports of Ukraine to help people around the world, the Middle East, Africa, everywhere where our operations are running.
Police in Sierra Leone lifted a curfew imposed after protests against rising cost of living in the West African nation turned deadly this week. The government imposed a nationwide curfew after grievances over rising food prices led to clashes between protesters and the police. Dozens of people have died after a fire broke out at a church in Egypt, many of them stampeded. Officials say the number of dead is at least 41, with dozens injured. Security forces say an electrical fire broke out as 5,000 worshippers gathered for Mass at the Coptic Abu Shifin Church. Israeli security inspected a bus after an attack outside Jerusalem's Old City. The police say they have arrested a suspect after a shooting attack that wounded 8 people. Meanwhile, during a weekly meeting of the Israeli cabinet, Prime Minister Yair Lapid warns that whoever harms Israeli citizens has nowhere to hide. That's the Global Update. I am Uche Ugochukwu.
Back in Nigeria, Lagos state government says it will continue to leverage on the vast experience of the United States of America to ensure and enhance good governance, safe business environment, and a conducive environment for foreign investment. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu gave the assurance while receiving the new United States Consul General, Will Stevens, at the State House in Marina, Lagos. Musa Toliat completes the report.
Talks between Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and the U.S. Consul General Will Stevens border largely on collaborative efforts to stem the tide of insecurity in Lagos and by extension the entire country, especially as Nigerians count down to 2023 general elections.
It's really about our people. It's really about ensuring that we can use our opportunity, to better the lives of our citizens, our businesses, in both jurisdictions and both countries. We will, I'm sure, over the period, deepen the relationship further and build, visible, clear visions for our citizens.
There were also discussions on strengthening trade relations and partnership in education, entertainment, cultural engagement, and other initiatives capable of attracting more investors to critical sectors of the economy.
Where we engage with Lagos State is similar to how we engage with the rest of Nigeria, where we're focused on 3 primary sectors. First and foremost here in Lagos State, as the Consul General, trade and investment, promoting bilateral trade and investment, helping Nigerian companies export to the U.S., U.S. companies export here, U.S. companies invest here, and Nigerian companies investing in the U.S., which raises all of our prosperity and helps us to improve relations, because those kind of economic relations are really the foundation of any partnership.
Consul General Will Stevens is the senior U.S. government representative in Nigeria responsible for leading and overseeing government activities that will enhance trade and investment relations across 17 southern states in the country. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the United Nations Development Programme has commended Nigerian government's efforts in promoting climate resilience, agriculture and enhancing food security. Details with Musa Aliyu.
For almost half of a decade, the United Nations Development Fund and the government of Nigeria have been supporting rural farmers to mitigate the impact of climate change on their agricultural activities. The 5-year project implemented in 7 states of Adamawa, Gombe, Nasarawa, Benue, Jigawa, Kano and Katsina State. Under the project, farmers, mostly women, were exposed to farming techniques, water management, marketing and value addition.
Introduced dry season farming in some riverine communities in Benue, where they don't used to engage in dry season farming, but the project introduced them to it. So when there is no rain, they are also farming vegetables and other staple crops.
More than 90,000 direct jobs and 800,000 indirect jobs have been created through various income-generating activities to boost the beneficiaries' livelihood.
And this project is more on adaptation. It helps our smallholder farmers in those respective states like the project was implemented to increase their capacity for them to be able to cope with the issue of climate change vigorously.
Several years in
UNDP Deputy Resident Coordinator Lillian Dinku said the project had laid the foundations for climate change response in the country through the development of national food security policy and institutional structures.
The JEP project has laid the foundation for climate change responses in Nigeria through the development of a draft policy named National Food Security Policy.
As the project ends, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture appreciated the support and dedication of all development partners and state project teams as they collaborate with local communities to take action against land degradation and provide long-term solutions to food security in Nigeria. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Kogi State, the World Bank and NG Cares are currently in a partnership which will provide integrated support to 330 farmers within Kogi West Senatorial District. The initiative has been flagged off with a distribution of agricultural and farm input to the beneficiaries. Francis Udojo reports.
The decision by the World Bank in collaboration with NG Cares to support states of the Federation is necessitated by the effect of COVID-19. Agricultural aids to farmers include fertilizers, cassava, and other inputs that can improve livelihood. In Kogi State, the program has now been flagged off in the Western Senatorial District in addition to the Eastern and Central Districts through the Fadama2 project. The state coordinator NG Cares, Sani Mohammed, performed the ceremony on behalf of the state governor, Yahya Bello, at Insolu.
The state government decided to key into the NTA program to provide this resources so that you can improve your yield, you can add value to what you have produced.
330 farmers cutting across Yagba West and East, Mupamuro, as well as Kababunu benefited from the initiative.
There is no money to maintain our farm, but right now I know it will be easier for us to maintain it now.
The one I've been planting did not give me so much fruit, but I believe as they explained this one to us, it will yield and change my life and the life of my children.
They may appear dry outside, but if you plant it, it will grow. Because it is hardy, it can resist drought. It has a yield of 30 tons. We have experimented with it for the past 5 years.
Kogi State government, however, expects a multiplier effect on the investments in a short period of farming. From Insolu, Western Senatorial District, Francis Sudojo, NTA News.
Nigeria's e-Naira ranked the best in Africa. Major global cocoa merchants agreed to pay premium on cocoa from Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. Details of this and more with Musa Aliu as he reviews major business activities last week.
The African Continental Free Trade Area has launched a digital platform aimed at easing trade on the African continent. The platform, dubbed the AfCFTA Hub, is an interconnect clearinghouse for national government, intergovernmental, private, and public digital and partnership platforms to link together all businesses to drive the success of the free trade area. The hub is designed to grow into a single trusted directory of the services needed to navigate the AfCFTA for small players, thereby making the AfCFTA the most inclusive free trade area in the world. And the Central Bank of Nigeria said the electronic currency, also known as e-Naira, remains the strongest in Africa. Nigeria was the first country to introduce the digital currency in Africa.
Since the e-Naira platform went live, there has been overwhelming interest and encouraging response from Nigerians and other parties across the globe, with over 2.5 million daily visits to our websites with the following milestones.
And last week, the Africa FinTech Foundry announced its willingness to collaborate with the Central Bank of Nigeria to support 10 startups to increase the adoption of e-Naira in the country. This is aimed at increasing the adoption of e-Naira in the country, as it enhanced financial inclusion, support digital economy, and improved economic activities. And from Ghana comes a report that inflation rate rose further in the month of July 2022 after the headline rate surged to 31.7% from 29.8% recorded in the previous month. In a statement by government statistician Samuel Kobina Anim, said annual imported inflation was 33.9% in July and has now outpaced the domestic price growth for 4 months. Still in Ghana, reports indicated that major cocoa buyers have agreed to pay a premium and back a price floor on cocoa sold by Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana as part of an agreement reached on Friday to combat poverty among farmers. Cocoa industry players will back a fixed living income differential of $400 a ton on all cocoa contractors sold by Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana, the two top global cocoa producers. Buyers will also pay a country premium that will enable cocoa regulators in both countries to reach a target floor price of $2,600 per ton, which should allow farmers to earn minimum of 70% of the target floor price. And here in Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture inaugurated a National Cocoa Management Committee to develop strategies and framework aimed at revamping the cocoa industry in Nigeria. The committee, among others roles, is expected to come up with an urgent draft charter for the operations of NCMC to the National Assembly for legal backing in order to meet demand of joining the Ghana-Cote d'Ivoire initiative to deliver living income differential of $400 per ton.
A. The NCMC shall develop a framework for the regulation and monitoring of the activities of cocoa sector to make the industry more transparent. B. The NCMC shall develop a strategic plan towards the establishment of a Nigerian cocoa board.
You're watching the news on NTA International. Time for a short break. More reports are still ahead. Just stay with us.
Last season, forget the winners and the losers. Forget every moment that stole the show, because this is a brand new season on GoTV, and it's going to be bigger and better than any season before it, with over 7 leagues and cup competitions, plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seats in the house this new football season. Get a decoder, GoTenna, plus 1 month GoTV Max for 6,900 Naira only. Bigger season, greater football. GoTV. Love it.
Yeah.
latest entrant in the latest technology. Welcome to Intel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit intel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Intel. Live more.
Thanks for staying. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Khali Baba, has ordered the deployment of watertight security to cover all schools, hospitals, health facilities, and critical national infrastructures across the country. A statement by the Force Public Relations Officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, says the IGP gave the directive while reviewing the general security situation in the nation via reports from commands and formations across the country. The IGP further tasked strategic police managers at various levels to prioritize the use of intelligence gathering networks, particularly traditional and local intelligence, to locate criminal hideouts and flush them out before the strike. The IGP equally charged all officers and men to be on the offensive and take the fight against crime to the doorsteps of criminal elements, urging them to be civil, professional and humane in relating with the public in the course of discharging their duties. And the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 6, Kunlola Kamaluddin, has charged personnel of the Nigeria Police Force to be friendly in their approaches with the public while discharging their statutory duties. The IG gave the charge while decorating 6 newly promoted superintendents of police officers at the Zone 6 headquarters, Calabar. Maureen Leo Ajum reports.
Recalling the recent development where the Nigeria Police Force has dismissed 3 of its officers for conduct contrary to the purpose for which the force was established and the mandate of the IGP administration, he charged the officers to maintain decorum in the discharge of their duties.
And we have spoken to the men to be civil to the members of the public, because these are the people that we are working for. We don't need to make them to hate us. We have advised them on how to behave so that the people, the public, will know that we are for them.
The AIG Zone 6 also charged perpetrators of electoral violence to desist henceforth or be prepared to face the consequences therein, assuring Nigerians of a peaceful conduct of 2023 general elections.
The message from the IGP is on how we are going to conduct this election free and fair without any favor to anybody, and how we are going to reduce thuggery and violence. And these are the messages that have been passed to all the leaders of the political parties and the members of the public, educating them on why peaceful election is important.
Among the 6 newly promoted officers is the Zone 6 Public Relations Officer Nelson Okpabi, who reiterated their commitment to deliver their duties in line with the provisions of the Nigerian Police Force Act. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force aircraft has struck a terrorist gathering at Kurebe in Shiroro local government area of Niger State after intelligence revealed that the terrorists had assembled for an important meeting hosted by Boko Haram terrorist commander Aminu Duniya. Sources revealed that the air strikes were conducted over the weekend, resulting in the death of many terrorists, though it remains unclear if Aminu Duniya was also neutralized in the strike. Recall that Kurebe is a known terrorist haven as the local inhabitants vacated the villages in and around the area after the terrorists displaced them in 2021. The strike at Kurebe comes barely hours after coordinated joint air and ground operations which neutralized several terrorists operating around Damba Galbi axis in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State, with Nigerian Army troops laying siege around the location while NAF aircraft carried out the airstrike. And troops of Theatre Command Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinke have rescued another Chibok girl alongside 3 other girls abducted within the theatre. Theatre Commander Operation Hadinke, Major General Christopher Musa, presented the rescued persons and was supported with relief materials by NOAA President Salmatu Farouk Yahaya at the command headquarters in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital.
Recently, troops on frontline are making headway into various terrorist enclaves to clear them, as a result of which captives are being rescued from the bondage. To this end, Theatre Commander Operation Hadinkai, Major General Christopher Musa said on the 12th of this month, another Chibok girl, Aisha Grema, who is serial number 11 on the girls list, was rescued with her 4-year-old child by troops of Sector 1, 21 Special Armored Brigade Bama. The other 3 girls, he said, escaped from captivity and were found by troops on 9th August, namely Wanred Dampam from Jos Plateau State and Clarice Hidel from Jamena, Chad, all abducted in 2020, while the third lady, Hawa, was traumatized and could not give any relevant information about herself.
We will continue to do the best we can. We know there's still so many of them out there, and then we will do everything possible to ensure we get all of them back, including those ones that we had no idea they're abducted. We want to ensure everybody that's been abducted is released and back to his home so that he can enjoy with the family.
Troops of Sector 1 have been able to recover at least 6 of the Chibok girls. This brings the number to 6 within the last 2 months.
National President Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association NAOA, Salamatu Farouk Yahaya, who was in Maiduguri to inaugurate developmental projects and empower women in the theatre, met with the rescued girls where she presented relief items and cash assistance to them. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
Now up next is Sports Update.
Ahead of their second Group C game against South Korea on Sunday, captain of the Falconets, Tosin Deime, has assured Nigerians that the team will go all out to defeat group leaders South Korea to ensure Nigeria's qualification to the quarterfinals. The captain stated this while speaking on the team's readiness for a game that will be played 9 p.m. Nigerian time.
Nigeria should be expecting the best of us, an excellent performance and a convincing victory.
Meanwhile, having lost their opening game against USA, Ghana will be looking for redemption as they take on Japan in their second Group D game of the early kickoff. In the meantime, sensational gymnast Stephanie Onusiruka and 8 other gymnasts competing at the ongoing International Clubs Championship in South Africa have won 5 gold, 1 silver and 1 bronze for Team Nigeria at the event. The 9 gymnasts who left Nigeria for the championship, which started Saturday, are looking to improve their skills on the use of modern gymnastics equipment. And finally, to tennis, British number 2 Dan Evans has lost out in the semi-finals of the Canadian Open in Montreal after being beaten by Pablo Carreño Busta. He lost 7-5, 6-7, 6-2 in the match that lasted for almost 3 hours. Carreño Busta, who is ranked 23rd in the world, will play Poland's Hubert Hurkacz in his first ATP Masters final. With Sports Update, Cynthia Ogun, NTA News.
Well, that's it on the news on NTA International. Thanks for staying with us. Do remember to join the NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. I am Anne Jibuno.
Day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International. Your window to the world.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, Remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.